You should be thankful, Zoe. My son picked you. A poor village girl with nothing to her name. And now you think you can just walk out with a suitcase, thinking you can change everything here. Well, this house was never made for someone like you. I never meant to be rude to you. I wanted to show that I could be more than just a poor girl. But if this is really what you think of me, maybe I should leave. Maybe I need to find my own path. Leave then. Pack your things and go. There is no place for you in this house anymore. We have a real wife now. Someone who knows what she is worth. There is no room for someone like you. Zoe picked up her small bag and walked away from the home where she had worked and lived for 6 years. Her husband had just married another woman. His mother had just thrown her clothes into the dirt. The whole village had just watched her be humiliated. She didn't scream. She didn't beg. She didn't even cry. She just walked. Nobody stopped her. Nobody ran after her. Nobody said, "Wait." They laughed. They whispered. Then they went back inside. But here is what none of them saw. Outside the village gate, sitting quietly on the red dusty road where no one was looking, was a car. Long, black, and expensive. The kind of car that does not belong in a village like this. Who does that car belong to? What is it doing here? And why did it show up on the same day Zoe was thrown out? Stay with me because this story will surprise you. The morning began just like every other morning in the village of Uguizi. Roosters crowing, women sweeping, children running, and the smell of firewood and palm oil rising from every home. But by the time the sun was high in the sky, something had changed, something that people would talk about for years. It started with a wrapper. Zoe's best wrapper, the blue and gold one she had saved 3 months of market money to buy, came flying out of the front door of Daniel's house. It landed in the dirt. Then came her blouse, her shoes, and her small wooden box of things. One by one, thrown out like they were trash, like the woman who owned them was trash. Mama Daniel stood at the door, hands on her hips, her voice loud enough for the whole street to hear. "Pack your things and go," she said. "This house has a real wife now. There is no room for a useless woman." The neighbors heard. They came outside. Women stood by their fences. Men stopped on their way to the farm. Children stopped playing and watched with wide, confused eyes. Zoe stood in the middle of the yard. She did not shout back. She did not cry. She bent down slowly, picked up her wrapper from the dirt, folded it carefully, and put it inside her bag. Her hands were steady. Her face was calm. But if you looked closely, if you were standing close enough, you would have seen her jaw tighten just once, just for a second. That was the only sign that she was human, that she was feeling something no woman should ever have to feel. Daniel stood by the window. He watched his wife of 6 years pick up her things from the dirt. He said nothing. He did nothing. He simply watched, the way someone watches something that no longer matters to him. Beside him stood Rita, 25 years old, wearing a bright wrapper, with fresh hair and a proud smile. She had moved into this house 2 months ago as Daniel's second wife. Now she stood beside him like she had always been there, like Zoe had never existed. "She should have left a long time ago," Rita whispered. Daniel said nothing, but he did not disagree. Lulu pushed through the crowd, her wrapper half-tied, her face full of panic. "Zoe!" She grabbed her friend's arm. "Zoe, don't do this. Fight back. Say something. You can't just leave quietly." Zoe looked at her and smiled softly. It was the kind of smile that confused Lulu more than any words could. "Let me go, Lulu," she said quietly. "But where will you go? You have nobody here." "I have everything I need." She picked up her small bag. She stood up straight. She walked toward the gate with her head held high, past the whispering women, past the staring children, past the man who had once promised to love her. Daniel never called her name. Not once. The gate, Zoe stopped. She reached into her pocket and pulled out her phone. She called a number she had not called in a very long time, and said just 3 words before hanging up. "Papa, I'm ready." Then she walked out, and nobody understood what those words meant. Not yet. What Daniel did not know was that Zoe had made one phone call before she left. Just one, to a number she had kept hidden for 6 years. The number that would change everything. 6 years ago, Zoe walked into the village of Ugwe with nothing but a small bag and a heart full of love. She was 22 years old. She was beautiful, educated, and soft-spoken, the kind of woman who made people stop and look twice. Not because of her clothes, which were simple, but because of something in her eyes. Quiet sharpness, deep calmness, like she knew something you didn't. Nobody asked questions. She was Daniel's wife. That was enough. Daniel was different back then. In the beginning, he was kind. He called her Nem, my mother, my heart, the way men call the women they truly love. He held her hand at the market. He stood up for her when his mother complained. He told her, as long as I am here, nobody will hurt you. Zoe believed him. She had left everything to be with him, her real life, her real world. All of it left behind because she wanted to know just one thing. Would he love her for who she was? Not for her father's name, not for her father's money, not for the connections her family had. Just her. Plain Zoe, market woman, farmer's wife. For 2 years the answer seemed to be yes. Then Mama Daniel moved in. Started small. Zoe, why is this soup so watery? Zoe, a good wife wakes up before her husband. Zoe, women your age already have 3 children. What is wrong with you? Daniel said nothing. He was busy. He was tired. He had his mother's voice in his ear every single day. And slowly, like water wearing away a rock, it worked. By the 3rd year, Daniel stopped calling her Nem. By the 4th year, he stopped eating her food if his mother complained about it first. By the 5th year, he would shout at her in front of visitors and feel no shame. Zoe woke up every morning at 4 a.m. She fetched water before the sun came up. She swept the yard. She cooked breakfast, lunch, and dinner. She farmed. She went to the market and sold vegetables 3 days a week. Every kobo she earned, she handed to Daniel without being asked. He took it without saying thank you. She never complained. She never fought back. She never once called her father to tell him what was happening, because she was still waiting, still hoping, still believing that the man she had loved at the beginning was still hiding somewhere inside this cold, empty stranger. He wasn't. Lulu noticed things. Zoe, you speak too well for a village market woman, she said one afternoon, watching her friend count tomatoes with careful, graceful fingers. Zoe laughed softly. Is speaking well a crime now? Where did you go to school? Far away. And your family? You never talk about them. Zoe was quiet for a moment. Then she looked at Lulu with those calm, steady eyes and said something Lulu never forgot. You'll know soon enough. That was 3 months ago. And Lulu had been wondering about it ever since. Because the woman Daniel treated like a servant was not who any of them thought she was. And the life she had left behind, the life she had kept so carefully hidden, was about to find her. Rita did not just walk into Daniel's house, she arrived. New wrapper, fresh perfume, head held high, like a queen coming to take her throne. Like the house had been waiting for her all along. Like Zoe, who had scrubbed that floor, cooked on that fire, and quietly suffered in that house for 6 years, had simply been keeping it warm for her. And Mama Daniel welcomed her with both arms wide open. Nem, she said, my child, you are finally here. She had never once called Zoe that. Within 2 weeks, the house had changed. Rita ate first. Rita took the best portions. Rita sat in the chair by the window, the chair Zoe had bought with her own market money, and crossed her legs like she owned everything in sight. One morning, Zoe came out wearing her best blue and gold wrapper, the one she had saved 3 months to buy. Rita looked at it, said nothing, and smiled. The next day, Rita was wearing it. Zoe said nothing. She simply found another wrapper, tied it quietly, and went to the market. 'Cause that was Zoe. She swallowed pain the way other people swallow water. Easily, without any fuss, without letting anyone see how deep it went. Mama Daniel stopped pretending. Before Rita came, she had at least kept up a thin politeness in front of visitors. Now she didn't bother. Rita cooked this soup, she would announce at dinner. Can you taste the difference? This is what a real wife cooks. The visitors would nod, feeling uneasy. Zoe would sit quietly and eat whatever was left. Daniel would say nothing. His silence was the cruelest thing of all. The village women talked. Most of them took Daniel's side. "Poor man," they said, shaking their heads. 6 years and no child. What is a man supposed to do? They brought Rita gifts. They congratulated Mama Daniel. They smiled at Zoe with that special kind of smile. Half pity, half disrespect, which is somehow worse than a direct insult. But not everyone felt that way. Mary, the old groundnut seller by the market gate, watched Zoe walk by one afternoon and said quietly to the woman beside her, "That girl carries herself like somebody important. You notice that? Even now, even like this, she carries herself like somebody." The other woman shrugged. "Somebody with nothing." Mary said nothing back. But she watched Zoe until she disappeared around the corner. Lulu came to Zoe that evening very angry. "Fight back," she said. "Shout, cry, do something. You are a human being, not a wall." Zoe was folding her wrappers neatly by the window. She didn't stop folding. "Lulu," she said calmly, "a woman who knows what is coming does not waste her energy on what is already here." "What does that mean?" Zoe smiled. That same quiet, knowing smile. "It's almost time," she said softly. Elder Simon passed the gate that same evening. He slowed down, looked in, and watched Zoe for a long moment. Her straight back, her steady hands, her calm face. He slowly shook his head and walked on. She didn't look like a woman who had lost. She looked like a woman who was waiting. The day Mama Daniel finally pointed to the gate and told Zoe to leave, Rita laughed so hard she had to hold onto the wall. "Go back to your poor family," she said. "Nobody here wants you." She laughed like it was the funniest thing she had ever said, like it was all over, like she had won. If only she knew who was already coming. The morning Zoe left, the sky was a deep burnt orange color. She was awake before everyone else. She had not slept much. Not because she was scared, not because she was sad, but because she had been thinking carefully and quietly, the way she had always done everything in that house. She sat on the edge of the bed she had shared with Daniel for 6 years. She looked slowly around the room, the cracked wall she had fixed with her own hands, the curtain she had sewn herself from leftover market cloth, the small wedding photo of her and Daniel still hanging on the wall, dusty and forgotten. She stood up. She did not take the photograph. She packed one bag. Just one, small enough to carry on one shoulder. She folded 2 wrappers, one blouse, her Bible, and a small notebook. She left everything else. Her market money, 3 weeks of careful savings, she left on the table in a neat pile. She left her cooking pots. She left the curtains she had sewn. She left 6 years of herself behind without taking anything that wasn't truly necessary, because where she was going, she would need none of it. Mama Daniel was standing in the yard when Zoe came out. She expected tears. She expected begging. She had been preparing herself for a big scene, the kind she could talk about with the neighbors for weeks afterward. Instead, Zoe walked straight up to her, looked her in the eyes and said quietly, "Thank you for everything, Mama. I wish you well." Mama Daniel blinked, opened her mouth, then closed it again. She had no words. Rita was watching from the doorway. The smile on her face faded just for a second into something that looked almost like confusion, almost like worry, like someone who has won a game, but suddenly isn't sure they understood the rules. Zoe looked at her too, calm and steady. "Take care of this home," she said simply. Then she turned to Daniel. He was standing by the mango tree, arms crossed, his face showing nothing. The man who had once called her Nem and truly meant it. "I pray you find the happiness you are looking for," Zoe said. He said nothing. She nodded once, like she had expected nothing more. Outside the gate was open. The whole street had gathered. Neighbors, women, children. Elder Simon stood at the edge of the crowd, watching with serious eyes. Some people looked away when Zoe walked by. Some whispered. One young woman near the back quickly wiped her eye, hoping nobody noticed. Lulu was crying out in the open. "Zoe, please." She grabbed her hand at the gate. "Where will you go?" Elise, tell me. Zoe held her friend's hand tightly, leaned in close, and whispered 4 words directly into her ear. Watch what happens tomorrow. Then she let go. She walked through the gate. She did not look back, except once, just at the edge of the road. She paused, turned her head slowly, looked at the house one last time, and smiled. That strange, quiet, knowing smile that nobody in this village had ever been able to explain. Then she kept walking. At the end of the road, where the village path met the main road, a car was parked in the shade of a neem tree, long, black, and expensive. The driver stepped out right away when he saw her and opened the door without saying a word. Zoe got in. The car drove away. And just like that, she was gone. That night, Daniel and Rita celebrated. Mama Daniel cooked pepper soup and pounded yam. They laughed. They talked about the future. They believed with their whole hearts that they had won. What none of them knew was that 400 kilometers away, a convoy was already on the move, moving fast, and it would arrive at the village of Ugwe at exactly 10 o'clock the next morning. They heard it before they saw it. A deep, rumbling sound, like faraway thunder, except the sky was perfectly clear, like something huge and unstoppable moving along the ground. Then the convoy came around the bend. 5 black SUVs moving in a neat, tight line. Windows dark, bodies shining in the morning sun, like something from a completely different world. A world this village had only ever seen on television. People stepped out of their homes without even knowing why. Children ran to the roadside. Women blocked the sun with their hands and stared. The vehicles did not slow down at the market. They did not stop at the church, the school, or the community hall. They came straight to Daniel's house and stopped. For a long moment nobody moved. Then the door of the front car opened. The man who stepped out was 60 years old, but he carried himself like the whole world owed him something. His agbada was a deep dark red, decorated with gold thread. His shoes were leather. Around his neck, a heavy chief's medallion caught the sunlight. 2 men in suits stepped out right behind him, taking their positions without being told. The village went completely silent. Chief Joshua looked at the house. Then he looked at the crowd slowly gathering behind him. Then he spoke in a voice that was quiet but filled the entire street like the beat of a drum. Where is Daniel? Daniel came out wiping his hands on a cloth. He saw the cars. He saw the men. He saw the chief. His steps slowed. Something in his stomach turned in a way he could not explain. Sir, he said, standing up straight. Good morning, sir. How can I? Where is my daughter? The cloth fell from Daniel's hand. I'm sorry, Zoe. Chief Joshua's eyes did not blink. My daughter. The woman who lived in this house for 6 years. Where is she? The silence that followed was the loudest silence the village of Ugwe had ever heard. Mama Daniel appeared in the doorway. She looked at the chief. She looked at his cars. She looked at his medallion. And then slowly her legs gave out. Her neighbor caught her before she hit the ground. Rita did not come outside at all. Elder Simon stepped forward from the crowd. Chief, he said carefully. The woman Zoe, she left yesterday morning. Chief Joshua nodded slowly. He reached into his agbada and took out his phone. He dialed a number and put it on speaker. It rang twice. Papa. Zoe's voice came through clearly, warm and calm. Are you there? I am here, NWA. His voice changed completely. Soft and gentle, the voice of a loving father. They want to know where you are. Short pause. Then, tell them I am home, Papa. I am finally home. He ended the call. He looked at Daniel. I gave your wife to you 6 years ago, Chief Joshua said. Not because I had to, because she asked me to. She said she had found a man she loved. She wanted to know if that man would love her back. Not for my name, not for my money, just for her. He let those words hang in the air. I watched, waited. I received her reports. Every single one of them. He looked at Mama Daniel, who was being held up by 2 women. Every insult, every humiliation. Every morning she woke up at 4 a.m. to serve people who treated her like she was nothing. Daniel's mouth fell open. No words came out. I was going to come to you as a father, Chief Joshua continued. I was going to bring you into my family, my businesses, my name. I was going to give your children a future that 3 generations of your family could not build on their own. I was ready to do all of this for my daughter's happiness. He calmly buttoned his agbada. But my daughter is not happy. She has not been happy for a very long time. He turned back toward his car. So I am taking her home. Please, sir, wait. Daniel's voice cracked. He stepped forward. One of the men in suits stepped in front of him without touching him. Just step. That was enough. Chief Joshua did not turn around. He got into his car. The doors closed. The convoy turned slowly and drove back up the road. Steady, unhurried. The way powerful people move when they have nothing to prove. The village watched until the last car disappeared. Then everyone turned and looked at Daniel. That look. The kind that cannot be taken back. 6 years, Mary, the groundnut seller, said to no one in particular. He had a chief's daughter living in his house for 6 years. Nobody laughed. Nobody whispered. They just looked at him. This man who had thrown away something priceless simply because he never once thought to ask who she really was. Rita left that same night. No goodbye, no explanation. Just a bag and a gate closing quietly in the dark. Mama Daniel did not leave her room for 3 days. Daniel tried to call Zoe. Block. He sent a message through Elder Simon. No reply. He traveled to the city, found Chief Joshua's office building, a tall tower of glass and steel that made his whole village look tiny, and stood outside it for an hour before turning back. Some doors, once closed, do not open again. Zoe never returned to Ugu. She went back to her father's house. Wide rooms, clean light, and people who looked at her and truly saw her worth. She laughed again. She slept well. She healed slowly, the way deep wounds do. Not all at once, but truly. And in time she found someone. A man who knew exactly who her father was, who knew exactly where she came from, and who chose her anyway. Not despite all of it, but simply because she was Zoe. That was enough for him. It had always been enough. It had just taken the wrong man to show her what the right one would look like. And so the village of Yugas learned what Daniel and his mother learned too late. Never look down on anyone. The person you treat like garbage today might be the one with the power to change your life tomorrow. Treat everyone with kindness. Treat everyone with respect, because you never truly know who is sitting across from you. Zoe's silence was not weakness. It was dignity. Her patience was not foolishness. It was a test. And Daniel failed the test that would have changed everything. Not just for him, but for every generation that would have come after him. Some losses cannot be undone. Some chances come only once. And the saddest people in this world are not those who suffered. They are those who had everything within their reach and never knew it, until it was already gone.